Okay, hi all. So in this video, we're going to show how to convert from a hexadecimal number, a base 16 number, to a decimal number, a base 10 number. So just a bit of background. A decimal number, a base 10 number, is any number made up of these 10 digits, a combination of these 10 digits. So like 567 is a decimal number, 34 is a decimal number, 80 is a decimal number, 80. So it's a combination of these 10 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a hexadecimal number is a combination of 16 digits, or really, I suppose, these same 10 digits and these 6 letters. For instance, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we couldn't write 10 because 10 is made up of a 1 and a 0 again. So instead of 10, we go A, the equivalent of 10, B, which is 11, C, which is 12, 13, 14, 15. So to write a hexadecimal number, for instance, it might be 7B8, or it could be D34, or it could be A, B, C, D on its own. So it's any combination of these 16 numbers and letters. Excuse me. So since this A is the equivalent of 10, I'm going to write it up above it here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay? So to get before we get to the converting, I suppose it's important to know that we'll have to be using indices base 16 for our technique. So this is basically 16 to the power, or to different powers. So we need to know that 16 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. 16 to the power of 1 is equal to 16. 16 squared, or 16 to the power of 2, which is just 16 multiplied by 16, is 256, and we would use a calculator for this. 16 to the power of 3, which is 16 by 16 by 16, is 4096. And 16 to the power of 4, for now that's as far up as we'll go, is 65,536. Okay? So, our first example, converting a hexadecimal number. The hexadecimal number we're going to convert is going to be the number 7D0. Okay, 7D0. And so we're only going to need this, this, and this, because it's a 3-digit number here. We're only going to need to go up as far as 16 squared for our technique here. And you know what, in fact, I'm going to scribble this out and write it with the digits a little further apart, 7D0, to give me room to do my work. So here's the technique. Each of these digits up here, we're going to multiply them by some power of 16. So for instance, the first one is going to be multiplied, well, the first one on the right, I should say, because we start from the right, is going to be multiplied by 16 to the power of 0, which is equal to 1. The next one is going to be multiplied by 16 to the power of 1, which is 16. The next one is going to be multiplied by 16 to the power of 2, which is 256. Okay, so before we do the multiplying, we might have noticed there's going to be a problem, because this is a D and that's a number. When we're doing our multiplying, what we're going to do is we're going to swap out, instead of D, we're going to use the number 13. Okay, so now we just do our multiplying. I'm going to leave a bit of space, or a space between this and my answer. So 1 times 0 is 0. 16 multiplied by 13 gives me an answer of 208. And 256 multiplied by 7 gives me an answer of 1,792. And when we've got those, we just add all our answers together to give us what the decimal equivalent to the hexadecimal number 7D0 is. So adding those together, 0 plus 208 is 208. 208 plus this is 2000 even. So the number 2000, decimal number 2000, is the same as the hexadecimal number 7D0. So we'll do one more example, and if we take the hexadecimal number 1, and I'm going to write the digits pretty far apart, 1FABC. And maybe just before I start, the equivalent of F is 15, isn't it? We've seen above, 15. A is 10, B is 11, and C is 12. So we'll need that in a moment. Okay, we're going to be multiplying each of these by something. And because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits here, we're going to have to go up as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up as far as 16 to the power of 4 when we're doing our multiplication. So if there were more digits in this number, we'd have to go as far as 16 to the power of 5, 6, whatever it happens to be. Okay, so multiplying each of these by whatever these powers are, well, 16 to the power of 0 is 1, and remember we're starting from the right hand side always. 16 to the power of 1 is 16, 2 is 256, 16 to the power of 3 is 4096. These numbers get very big very quickly. 16 to the power of 4 is 65536, 65536. And this is why I left the space between, because these numbers are taking up more and more room. Okay, when we do our multiplying then, 1 by 12 is just 12. 16 by 11 gives me 176. 256 multiplied by 10 is 2,560. 4,096 multiplied by 15 gives me 61,440. And lastly, 65,536 multiplied by 1 is 65,536. And then all of our answers we just add together. Again, we can just put that all into our calculator, and when we do, we get an answer of 129,724. So we can see that this one FABC hexadecimal number has a decimal value of 129,724.